Remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by will but poor 1,000 crowns. And as thou sayest, charge my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his prophet. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that keeping? For a gentleman of my birth that differs not from the stalling of an ox? His horses are bred better. But I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me, and the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny against this servitude, and I will no longer endure it. Though yet I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Now, sir, what make you here? Nothing, sir. I'm not taught to make anything. What mar you then, sir? Marry, sir, I'm helping you to mar that which God has made. A poor, unworthy brother of yours with idleness. Marry, sir, be better employed. Shall I keep your heart and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such penury?
Know you where you are,
oh, sir, very well. Here in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Aye, better than him I am before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood you should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better in that you are the firstborn, but that same tradition takes not away my blood. Were there 20 brothers betwixt us? I have as much of my father in me as you. Albeit, I confess, her coming before me is near to his reverence.
What, boy?
Oh, come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I'm the youngest son of Sir Roland of Boyce. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that such a father begot villains. Wert thou not my brother, I would not remove this hand from thy throat to this other, and whipped out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on thyself.
Sweet masters, be patient, for your father's remembrance be in accord.
Let me go, I say. I will not till I please. You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. But I pray you, leave me.
I will no further offend you than becomes me for my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Is old dog my reward? Most true, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master, who would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me? Well, I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Holla, Dennis!
Call your worship.
Is not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me?
So please you, he's here at the road in port with access to you.
Call him in. It will be a good way. Tomorrow the wrestling is.
Yes, good morning, your worship. Good morrow.
Yeah. Good, Monsieur Charles. What's the new news at the new court?
Oh, there's no news, sir, but the old news. That is, the old Duke is banished by his younger brother, the new Duke, and 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile, whose lands and revenues so enrich the new Duke, therefore he gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh, no, sir. For the Duke's daughter, her cousin,
so loves her, being from their cradles bred together, that, well, she would have followed her exile or died to stay behind her. She is at the court, sir, and no less loved of her uncle as his own daughter, and no two ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old Duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Arden, and many a merry men with him. And there they spend the time like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young gentlemen flock to him every day and fleet the time carelessly as they did in the golden world.
But you wrestle tomorrow before the new Duke.
Harry, sir, do I? And I have come to acquaint you with the matter. I have come to understand that your younger brother, Orlando, hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I wrestle for my credit. He that escapes me without broken limbs shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him, as I must, for mine own honor if he come in.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose herein, and had by underhand means labored to dissuade him from it, but he is resolute. I tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou were best look to it, for if thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he dost not mightily grace himself on thee, he will practice against thee with poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he hath taken thy life by some indirect means or other. For I assure thee, it is almost with tears I speak it. Oh, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him, but should I anatomize him to thee as he is, I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale and wonder.
I am heartily glad I came hither to see you. If he come in tomorrow, I'll give him his payment. So, God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles.
Yes, your worship. Yes!
Good Lord. Now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end of him, for my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. Yet he's gentle, never schooled, yet learned, full of noble device, of all sorts, enchantingly beloved, and indeed, so much in the heart of the world, and especially of my own people, who best know him, that I am altogether misprized. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all.
I prithee, Rosalind, sweet my coz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of, and would you yet I were merrier? Unless you could teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If thy father, my banished uncle, had banished thy uncle, the Duke, my father, if thou hadst been still with me, I would have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love to me were so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor none is like to have, and truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he hath taken from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By mine honor I will. And when I break this oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my dear Rose, my sweet Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz, and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee do, to make sport withal.
What shall be our sport then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife Fortune at her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced.
'Tis true, for those that she makes fair, she scarce makes honest, and those that she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly.
Nay, now thou goest from Fortune's office to Nature's.
No. When nature hath made a fair creature, may she not by fortune fall into the fire? Though nature hath given us wit enough to flout at fortune, hath not fortune sent in this natural to cut off the argument?
Indeed, there is fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural to cut her off of nature's wit.
Peradventure, this is not nature's work neither, but fortune's, who perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason on such goddesses, and hath sent in this natural for our whetstone, for always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wit. How now, wit, whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
Where learned you that oath, fool?
Of a certain knight that swore by his honor that the pancakes were good, and swore by his honor that the mustard was not. Now I'll stand to it. The pancakes were not, and the mustard was good, and yet was not the knight forsworn.
What prove you that in the great heat of your knowledge?
Ay, marry, now unmuzzle your wisdom.
Stand you both forth now. Stroke your chins, and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had sworn it away before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is it that thou meanest?
One that old Frederick your father loved.
My father's love is enough to honor him. Enough! Speak no more. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more pity that fools may not speak wisely, what wise men do foolishly.
Oh, thou speakest true, for since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little folly that wise men have makes a great show. Oh, but here comes Monsieur Le Beau.
With his mouth full of news.
He will put upon us as pigeons feed their young.
Then shall we be news crammed.
All the better, we shall be more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Le Beau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sports? Of what color?
What color, madam? Oh, how shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destiny's decree.
Well said, that was laid on with a trowel.
Nay, if I keep not my rank,
Thou losest thy old smell.
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
You tell us the manner of the wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here, where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, be it known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles, in a moment, threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, that there was little hope of life in him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Oh, yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them, that all the beholders do take his part with weeping.
Alas!
but what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus may men grow wiser every day, for it is the first time ever I heard the breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
Or I promise thee.
But is there any else longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there yet another dote upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must if you stay here, for here is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are coming to perform it.
Yonder, sure, they are coming. Let us stay and see it.
Come on! Since the youth will not be entreated, his own peril on his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam.
Alas, he's too young, yet he looks successfully.
How now, daughter? and cousin. Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it. I can tell you there is such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. Perhaps you can move him.
Call him hither, good Monsieur Lebeau.
Do so, I'll be not by.
Monsieur the Challenger, the princess is called for you.
I tell them with all respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I come but in as others do to try with him the strength of my youth.
Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts. Wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one shame that was never gracious. If killed, but one dead that was willing to be so. I will do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I fill up a place, which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength that I have, I would it were with you.
And mine, to eke out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Yes, come! Where is this young gallant so desires to lie in his mother earth?
Ready, sir? But his will hath in it a more modest working. And you mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before, but come your ways!
Now Hercules be thy speed, young man.
I would I were invisible, that I could catch the strong fellow by the leg.
Yes, yes, come thy ways, Orlando. Thou villain, thou slave, thou wretch, thou shalt suffer. Come, Orlando. I'm not finished. Come, sir. I am for you. Little valiant, but strong in villainy. Yes! Charles! Orlando, I shall fight to my last gasp.
If I had a thunderbolt in mine eye, I could tell who's down.
No more! Yes! I beseech your grace, sir. I'm not yet well breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Roland de Bourges.
I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed had thou descended from another house. But fare thee well, thou art a gallant youth. I would thou had told me of another father.
Were I my father, cuz, would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son. his youngest son, and would not change their calling to be adopted out of Frederick.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this young man his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties ere he should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me to my soul. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but that her hand lacks means. Shall we go, cousin?
Aye! Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which here stands up is but a flintane, a mere lifeless block.
Oh, he calls us back! My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well, and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Heck with you! Fare you well.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown. Oh.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. Albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause, and love, yet such is now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all that you have done. The Duke is humorous. What he is indeed more suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I thank you. And pray you tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of the Duke that here was at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners. But yet indeed, the taller is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, and here detained by her usurping uncle to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that of late this Duke had taken displeasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtue and pity her for her good father's sake, and on my life, his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well.
I rest much bound unto you, fare you well. Now must I from the smoke to the smother, from a tyrant Duke unto a tyrant brother. But oh, heavenly Rosalind!
Cousin! Rosalind! Cupid have mercy, not a word!
Not one to throw at a dog!
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away on curs. Throw some of them at me! But is all of this for thy father?
No. Some of it is for my child's father. Oh, full of briars is this working day world.
They are but burrs, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not the trodden path, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These burrs are in my heart.
Hem them away!
I would try if I could cry hem and have him.
Come, wrestle with thy affection.
Oh, they take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
Good, my soul. But let us speak in earnest. Is it possible on such a sudden that you should fall into so strong a liking of Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Not that therefore ensue that you should love his son dearly. By that sort of chase, I should hate him, for my father hated his father dearly, and yet I hate not Orlando.
No, faith, hate him not for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that. And do you love him because I do? Look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste, and get you from our court.
Me, uncle.
You, cousin, within this 10 days, if that thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace. Let me the knowledge of my faults bear with me. If with myself I hold intelligence, or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if that I do not dream, or be not frantic as I do trust I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as in a thought unborn could I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord, or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then, good my liege, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake. Else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. That was your pleasure, and your own remorse. I was too young at that time to value her, but now I know her. If she betrayed her, why then, so am I. We still have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, eat together, and wheresoever we went, like Juno's own swans, we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee, and her smoothness, her very silence and patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Ah, thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone.
But
then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I would give thee mine. I prithee, be not thou more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not. Prithee, be cheerful. If thou not hear, the Duke hath banished me, his daughter.
That he hath not?
No, hath not. Rosalind then lacks the love that teaches her that thou and I are one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No. Let my father seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go, and what to bear with us, for by this heaven I will go with thee.
Why? Whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us maids as we are to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, and with a sort of umber smirch my face. The like do you. So shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because that I am more than common strong, that I did suit me all points like a man. A gallant curtle-axe upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page.
Oh.
And therefore, look, you call me Ganymede. What will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
But cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travel?
He'll travel o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away, and get our jewels and all our wealth, devise the fittest way and safest time to hide from the pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now go we in content to liberty, and not to banishment.
And now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted fault? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, as the icy fang and Shirley's chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body even till I shriek with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly tell me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, and this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, and books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill us venison? Aha! Jakeweed! Jakeweed! Ah! And yet, it irks me, the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should, in their own confines with forked heads, have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord. And the melancholy Jakeweed does grieve at that, and in that kind swears that you doth usurp more than your brother who hath banished you. Today the Lord Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay beneath an oak. The antique roots peeped out upon a brook that brawls along this wood, in which place a poor, sequestered stag, who from a hunter's aim had taken hurt, did languish there. And the poor wretched beast gave forth such groans that the discharge of which stretched its leathern coat to bursting, and the big, round tears coursed down its innocent nose in piteous chase. And the poor hairy fool, much marked by the melancholy Jakeweed, stood upon the extremest edge of the swift brook, augmenting it with its tears.
But what said Jakeweed? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh yes, into 1,000 similes. First, for the needless weeping into the stream. Oh dear, quoth he, thou makest a testament as worldlings do to give up the sum of thyself to that which had too much. Anon, a careless herd full of pasture leaps past him and never stays to mark him. Aye, quoth Jakeweed, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens, 'tis just the fashion, wherefore do you look upon the poor and the bankrupt there? And thus most effectively does he pierce through the body of the city, the country, the court, and yea, our lives, and says that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, that we should fright the animals and kill them up in their native and assigned dwelling places.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he is full of matter.
I will lead you to him straight.
Who's there?
What, my young master? Oh, my gentle master. Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? And wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Or what a world is this when what is comely and venomous him that bears it?
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, come not within these doors. Within this roof, the enemy of all your graces lives. Your brother. No brother. Yet the son, yet not the son. I will not call him son of him I was about to call his father. Hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him and his practices. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, Do not enter it.
Why, whither, Adam, wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
What? Wouldst thou have me go and beg my food, or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road? This I must do, or know not what to do. Yet this I cannot do how I can. I rather will subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not so. I have 500 crowns. The 50 hire I did save under your father to be my nursemaid when service should in my old limbs lie laid. Here is the gold, and all this I give you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty. For in my youth I never did apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood. Therefore my age is a lusty winter, frosty, but kindly. Let me go. Let me go with you, and I will do the service of a younger man in all your business and necessity.
Oh, good old man. How well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world, where service sweat for duty, not for meed. Thou art not for the fashion of these times, where none will sweat but for promotion. But poor old man, thou prunest a rotten tree, that cannot so much as a blossom yield in lieu of all thy pains and husbandry. But go thy ways. We'll go along together, and ere we have thy youthful wages spent, we'll land upon some settled low content.
Master, go on, and I will follow thee to the last gasp, with truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now almost 80 here lived I. And now live here no more. At 17 years many their fortune seek, but at 80 it is too late to weep. But fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well, and not my master's debtor.
Can it be possible that no man saw them? It cannot be. Some villains of my court are of consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. The ladies, her attendants of her chamber, saw her bed. In the morning early, they found the bed untreasured of their mistress.
My lord, the Rhinish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles. And she believes, wherever they are gone, that youth is surely in their company.
Send to his brother. Fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly, and let not search and inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for my spirits if my legs were not weary.
I could find in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman, but I must comfort the weaker vessel, as Dublin hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Aliena.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I had rather bear with you than bear you.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye. Now am I in Arden. The mournful I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Aye, be so good, Touchstone. Look who comes here. A young man and an old in solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, that thou knewest how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved her now.
No, Corin. Being old, thou canst not guess. Though, in thy youth, thou wast as true a lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, as sure I think did never man love so, how many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Ugh, thou didst then ne'er love so heartily. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast not loved, or if thou hast not sat, as I do now, wearying thy hearer in thy mistress's praise, thou hast not loved, or if thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love, we that are true lovers run into strange capers. But, as all in nature is mortal, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay, I shall ne'er beware mine own wit till I break my shins against it.
I pray you, one of you question yond man. If he for gold will give us any food, I faint almost to death.
Holla, you clown!
Peace, fool! He's not thy kinsman.
Who called?
Your better, sir.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I pray thee,
Shepherd,
if that love or gold can, in this desert place, buy entertainment, bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much oppressed, and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her, and wish for her sake more than for mine own my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat is blocked, his bounds of feed are now on sale. And that our sheepcoat now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing that you will feed on. But what is, come see, and in my voice most welcome shall you be.
What is he that shall buy his flock and pasture?
That young swain that you saw here but ere while, that little cares for buying anything.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage pasture and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place, and willingly could waste my time in it.
Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me. If you like upon report the soil, the profit in this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur J, please.
I thank it. More. I prithee more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More. I prithee more.
My voice is ragged. I know it cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, sing. And you that will not, hold your tongue.
Well, I'll end this song. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke will drink under this tree. He hath been all this day to look here.
And hath been all this day to avoid him.
Oh.
He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks, and make no boast of him. Come, Warble, come.
Down ambition shun, and loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither, here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather.
note that I made yesterday in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes. If it do come to pass,
if it do come to pass,
that any man turn ass,
that any man turn ass,
leaving his wealth and ease a stubborn will to please,
leaving his wealth and ease a stubborn will to please,
Dukedom, 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 here shall he see, grows fool, says he, and if he will come to me.
Dukedom, 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 here shall he see, grows fools as he, and if he will come to me. Well, what's that Dukedom?
'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
Well, how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee. Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If there live anything in this uncouth forest, I will either be food for it or bring it for food to thee. For my sake, be comfortable. Hold death a while at the arm's end. I will be with thee presently. And if I bring thee not something to eat, I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I return, thou art a mocker of my labor. Well said. Thou liest in the bleak air, yet thou lookst cheerily. Come, I will bear thee to some shelter. Thou shalt not lie for die for lack of a dinner if there live anything in this desert. Oh, cheerily, cheerily, good Adam.
Find him like a man.
My lord, he is even but now gone hence. Here was he merry, hearing of a song.
If he, compact of jaws, grows musical, we shall have shortly discord in the spheres. Go seek him, tell him I would speak with him.
He saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a world is this where your poor friend must woo your company? What? You look merry.
A fool! A fool! I met a fool in the forest! A motley fool! A miserable world! As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun, and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool! Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his book, and looking on it with lackluster eye, says very wisely, it is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after an hour more 'twill be 11. And so, from hour to hour we ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot, and thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear that motley fool thus moral all the time, my lungs began to crow like Chanticleer, that fools should be so deep, contemplative. And I did laugh sans intermission, an hour by his dial. Oh, noble fool, a worthy fool. Motley's the only wear.
What fool is this?
Oh, worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says, if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he had strange places crammed with observation, the rich events in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool! I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit. Provided that you weed your better judgments of all opinion that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty with all, as large a charter as the wind, to blow on whom I please, for so fools have. Invest me in my motley, give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee, I can't tell what thou wouldst do.
What would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin in chiding sin. For thou thyself hast been a libertine, as sensual as the brutish sting itself, and all the embossed sores and headed evils that thou with license of free foot hast taught, will thou disgorge into the general world.
Why? Who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the weary very means do ebb? Why then, my taxing like a wild goose flies unclaimed of any man. But who comes here?
Forbear, and eat no more!
Why, I have eaten none yet.
Nor shalt not till necessity be served.
Of what kind should this cock come off?
Art thou thus boldened, man, by thy distress, or else a rude despiser of good manners, that in civility thou seemst so empty?
You have touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress hath taken from me the show of smooth civility. Yet I am inland bred, and know some nurture. But forbear, I say, he dies that touches any of that fruit till I my bears are answered.
And you will not be answered with reason. I must die.
What would you? Thy gentleness will force more than thy force will move us to gentleness.
I must die for food, and let me have it.
Oh, sit down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Oh, pardon me, I pray you. I thought that all things had been savage here, and therefore I put on the countenance of stern commandment. The gentleness my strong enforcement be. Oh, ha! In the which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True it is that we have seen better days, and hath with holy bell been knolled in church, and sat at good men's feasts, and wiped our eyes of drops that sacred pity hath engendered. Oh, and therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have, that to thy wanting may be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little while, whilst I like a doe go find my fawn and give it food. There is a poor old man, who hath after me many a weary step limped in pure love, till he be first sufficed. I will not touch a bit.
Go, find him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
I thank you, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Whoa. Thou seest we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than this scene wherein we play.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewing and puking in the nurse's arms. Then, the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwilling to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. then a soldier, hoorah! Full of strange oaths and bearded like the part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubbled reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon line, with eyes severe, and beard of formal cut, full of wide saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big, manly voice turning again to a childish treble.
Pipes and whistles in his sound.
Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome! Set down thy venerable burthen and let him be.
I thank you most for him.
So had you need, I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. Fall to. I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Give us some music. And, good cousin, sing.
Blow the winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hi-ho, sing hi-ho, unto the green holly, most friendship is fading, most loving dear folly. And hi-ho, the holly is life is most jolly. Freeze out into sky that does not find so nigh as benefits foregone. Though the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp as friend remembered not. Hi-ho, sing hi-ho, unto the green holly, most friendship is fading, most loving dear folly. And hi-ho, the holly is life is most jolly.
If that you were the good Sir Roland's son, as you have whispered faithfully you are, and as mine eye doth his effigies witness, most truly limed and living in your face, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. Oh, good old man, thou art right welcome as thy master is. Supported by the arm, give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand. Not seen him since? Sir, that cannot be. But were I not the better part made mercy, I should not seek an absent argument of my revenge, thou present. But look to it, find out thy brother. Seek him with candle, bring him dead or living within this 12 month, or turn thou no more to seek it living in our territory. Thy lands, and all things that thou dost call thine worth seizure, I do seize into my hands, till thou canst quit thee by thy brother's mouth of what I think against thee.
I would your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
the more villain thou. Push him out of doors, and let my officers of such a nature make an extent upon his house and lands. Do this suddenly, and turn him going.
Hang there my verse in witness of my love. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts I'll character, that every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run! Run, Orlando, and carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, and unexpressive she!
And how like you this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life. In respect it is a shepherd's life, it is not. In respect that it is solitary, I like it very well. But in respect that it is private, is it a vile life? Now, in respect it is in the fields, it pleaseth me well, but in respect it is not in the court. It is tedious. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well, but as there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more, but that I know the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is, and that he that wants money, means, and content is without three good friends, that the property of rain is to wet and fire to burn, that good pasture makes fat sheep, and that a great cause of the night is lack of the sun. That he that hath learned no wit, by nature nor art, may complain of good breeding, or comes of a very dull kindred.
Ooh, such a one is a natural philosopher. Was never court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Then thou art damned!
Hey, I hope.
Truly, thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being at court? Your reason.
Why, if thou wast never at court, thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, then their manners must be wicked, and wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd!
Not a whit, Touchstone. Those that are good manners in the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable in the court. You told me you salute not at the court, but you kiss your hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance, briefly. Come, instance.
Why, we are still handling our ewes, and their fells, as you know, are greasy.
I do not your courtiers' hands sweat? It is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man. Shallow, shallow, I say. Come, a better instance, I say, come.
You have too courtly a wit for me. I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest? Damned! God help thee, shallow man!
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear, owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, glad of other men's good, content with my harm, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you. To bring in the ewes and the rams together and to offer to get your living off the copulation of cattle.
Here comes young Master Ganymede, my mistress brother.
From the east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind through all the world, fares Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lines are but black to Rosalind. Let no fair be kept in mind but the fair of Rosalind.
I could rhyme you so 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. This is the rhyme, but a woman's right to market.
Out, fool!
Oh, for a taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosaline! If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosaline!
Stop. Oh.
Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosaline! That's how we play. Such a big crowd. Shh, little more. Shh. They that reap must sheaf and bind, then to cart with Rosaline! Crowd. Oh, so steep. So high. He's got water. Sweetest nut hath sourest rind. Such a nut is Rosaline! He the sweetest rose will find, must find love's prick and these are the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool! I found them on a tree!
Truly! The tree yields bad fruit.
No! Peace! Here comes my sister reading. Stand aside.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled? No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree, but upon the fairest boughs, or at every sentence end, will I Rosalinda write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite. Heaven would in little show, therefore heaven nature charged, that one body should be filled with all graces wide enlarged. Oh. Nature presently distilled Helen's cheek, but not her heart. Oh. Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part. Lucretia's modesty, thus Rosalind of many parts by heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts to have the touch's dearest prize. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave.
Have patience, good people!
Now, back, friends. Shepherd, go off a little. Go with him, Sierra.
Come, shepherd! We must make an honorable retreat, though not with bag and baggage, yet with scrip and scrippage.
Didst thou hear the verses?
Oh, yes, I heard them all.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of the wonder before you came. For look here what I found on a palm tree.
Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color.
Nay. But who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee now, with most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful,
Seriously.
and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again, wonderful, and after that, out of all hooping.
Good my complexion! Dost thou think, though I am caparisoned like a man, I have a doublet and hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is a South Sea of discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is, quickly, and speak apace. Is he of God's making? What manner of man? Is his head worth a hat? Is his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send more if the man will be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard, if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart, both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak, sad brow and true maid.
If faith, 'cause 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Alas the day, what shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Where and went he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me? Yeah. Where remains he? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must bar me Gargantua's mouth. It is too great a word of this age's size. To say aye or no to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism.
But doth he know that I am in this forest and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover, but take a taste of my finding him and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
It may well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
They're like stretched along like a wounded knight.
Though it be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Why, holla to thy tongue, I prithee, it curvets unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous! He comes to kill my heart!
I would sing my song without a burden. Thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman when I think I must speak? Sweet, say on.
You bring me out. So, comes not he here?
Tis he! Slink by and note him!
I thank you for your company, but good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone.
And so had I. And yet, for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do hope we may be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you mar no more of my verses with reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
It is a fault I will not change for your best virtue. I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking for a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look but in, and you shall see him.
There I shall see mine own figure,
which I thought to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well, what would you?
I pray you, what is't o'clock?
You should ask me the time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest. Else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place?
As the coney that you see dwell where she is kindled.
Well, your accent is something finer that can be purchased in so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, but indeed an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was in his youth an inland man. One that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I've heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman to be touched with so many giddy offenses as he hath generally taxed their whole sex with all.
Can you remember any of the principal evils that he laid to the charge of women?
There were none principal. They were all like one another as halfpence are, every one fault seeming monstrous till his fellow faults came to match it.
Well, I prithee recount some of them.
No. I will not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. There is a man haunts the forest that abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind in their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
Oh, I am he that is so love-shaped. I pray you tell me your remedy.
There's none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me how to know a man in love, in which cage of rushes I am sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not. But I pardon you for that, for simply your having a beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements of loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Oh, fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it? You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. But, in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to the youth by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness. And I tell you, deserves as well a dark house and a whip as madmen do. And the reason why they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner. He was to imagine me, his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, grieve and be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, and proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles. For every passion, something, and for no passion, truly anything, as boys and women are for the most part cattle of this color. Would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him, that I drave my suitor from his mad humor of loving to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and to live in a nook, merely monastic. And thus I cured him. And this way will I take upon me to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there shall not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you, if you would but call me Rosalind, and come every day to my cote and woo me.
Now by the faith of my love, I will. And tell me where it is.
Go with me to it, and I'll show it you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
Come apace, good Audrey. I will fetch up your goats, Audrey. Ow, Audrey. Oh. Am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Your features? Lord warrant us, what features?
I am here with thee and thy goats as the most capricious poet honest Ovid was among the gods.
Oh. Knowledge ill inhabited, worse than Jove in a thatched house.
Truly, would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest indeed in word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly. For the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry.
Do you wish then that the gods had made me poetical?
I do, truly. For thou swearest to me thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might have some hope thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No. Truly. unless thou wert hard favored. For honesty coupled to beauties have honey as sauce to sugar.
A material fool.
Well, I'm not fair. And therefore, I pray the gods make me honest.
Oh, truly. And to cast away honesty on a foul slut were to put good meat into an unclean dish.
I am not a slut. Though, I thank the gods I am foul.
Well, praise be the gods for thy foulness. Slutishness may come hereafter. But, be it as it may be, I will marry thee. And to that end, I've been to see Sir Oliver Martex, the vicar of the next village, who hath promised to meet me here in this place of the forest and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Will the gods give us joy?
Oh, amen. A man may, if he were of a fearful heart, stagger at this attempt. For here we have no temple but the wood, no assembly but poor beasts. But what though? Courage! Oh, here comes Sir Oliver. Good evening, Sir Oliver Martex. You are well met. Will you dispatch us here under this tree, or shall we go with you to your chapel?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not take her a gift of any man.
Truly, she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful.
Proceed! Proceed. I'll give her.
Good even, good master. Whatchamacallit? How do you, sir? You are very well met.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the ox hath his bow, sir, the horse his curb, the falcon her bells, so man hath his desires. Oh. And his pigeon's bill, so wedlock would be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush, like a beggar? Get you to church, and have a good priest that can tell you what marriage is. This fellow will but join you together as they join wainscot. Then one of you will prove a shrunk panel, and like green timber, warp.
I'm not in the mind, but I were better to be married of him than of another. For he is not like to marry me well, and not being well married is a good excuse hereafter for me to leave my wife.
Go thou with me, and let me counsel thee.
Come, Audrey! We must be married, or we must live in Audrey. Oh, farewell, good Master Oliver. Not, oh, sweet Oliver, oh, brave Oliver, leave me not behind thee, but wind away, be gone. I say, I will not to wedding with thee.
'Tis no matter, ne'er a fantastical knave of them all shall flout me out of my calling.
Never talk to me, I will weep.
Do, I prithee, yes, have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good a cause as one would desire. Therefore weep.
His very hair is of the dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas's. Mary, his kisses are Judas's own children.
Faith, his hair is of a good color.
An excellent color. Chestnut was ever the only color.
And his kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread. But why did he swear he would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
Do you think so?
Yes. I think he's not a pick-purse or a horse stealer, but for his verity in love, I think him as concave as a covered goblet or a worm-eaten nut.
Not true in love?
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
You have heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. He attends in this forest on the Duke, your father.
I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was. I told him of as good as he. So he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. But all's brave that youth mounts and folly guides. Who comes here?
Mistress and master, you have often inquired after the shepherd that complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, what of him?
If you'll see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you if you'll mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove the sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to this sight, and you shall say I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humbled neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tells me there is murder in mine eye. Oh, 'tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee. Now, counterfeit to swoon. Why now fall down? Or if thou canst not, oh, for shame, lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show the wound mine eye hath made in thee. Oh, scratch thee but with the pin, there remains some scar of it. But now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not. Nor I'm sure there's no portion eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, dear Phoebe, if ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then shall you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time, come not thou near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks. Pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exult, and all at once over the wretched? What, though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed, must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Wait, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, to my little wife, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself, down on your knees and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd, fare you well.
Ah, sweet youth, I pray you chide a year together. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness. And she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers thee with frowning lips, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. If you will know my house, 'tis at the tuft of olives here hard by. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, ply her hard. Come, sister. Shepherdess, look on him better and be not proud. Though all the world could see, none could be so abused in sight as he. Come to our flock.
Dead shepherd, now I find thy saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Oh, sweet Phoebe.
Huh? What sayst thou, Sylvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Sylvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief in love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief were both exterminate.
Thou hast my love. Is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Another covetousness. Sylvius, the time was that I hated thee, and yet it is not so that I bear thee love. But since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure. And I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, and I in such a poverty of grace, that I shall think it a most plenteous crop to clean the broken ears after the man that the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowst now the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I have met him oft, and he hath bought the cottage and the bounds that the old Carlot once was master of.
I think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? And yet, words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth. Not very pretty. But sure, he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion. And faster than his tongue did make a fence, his eye did heal it up. He is not very tall. Oh, but for his years, he's tall. Oh, his leg is but so-so. And yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between the constant red and mingled damask. If there be some women, Sylvius, had they marked him in parcels as I do, would have gone in to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet, I have more cause to hate him than to love him. But what had he to do to chide at me? Oh, he said mine eyes were black and my hair black. And now I am remembered, scorned at me. Oh, I marvel why I answer not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I write to him a very taunting letter. And thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou? Sylvius.
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him and passing short. Go with me, Sylvius!
Prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those that are in the extremity of either are abominable fellows, and betray themselves to every modern censure worse than drunkards.
Why? 'Tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why, then 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all these. But it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundry's contemplation of my travels, in which my often rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
A traveler! By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own lands to see other men's. Then, to have seen much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay then, God be with you.
Farewell, Monsieur Traveler. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover? And you served me such another trick and never come in my sight more.
My fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love? He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts and break but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love, it may be said of him that Cupid hath clapped him o'er the shoulder, but I'll warrant him heart whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, and you be so tardy, come no more in my sight. I had as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, of a snail. For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
And what's that?
Why, horns, which such as you are fain to be beholding to your wives for. But he comes armed in his fortune and prevents the slander of his wife.
But virtue is no horn maker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
And I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Come, woo me, for now I am in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now, and I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Ah, nay! You were better speak first. And when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss.
But how, if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins no matter. Am not I your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, for I would be talking of her.
Well, in her person, I say I will not have you.
But in mine own person, I die!
No! Faith, die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time there was never any man died in his own person videlicet in a love cause. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I protest I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind. Her frown might kill me.
By this hand it will not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming-on disposition. And ask me what you will, I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Yes, faith will I. Fridays and Saturdays. And all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye. And 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Why then can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
God, pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin. Will you, Orlando?
Go to, will you, Orlando, have to wife this, Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why now, as fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might ask you for your commission, but I do take thee, Orlando, for my husband. Now tell me how long you would have her after you have possessed her?
Forever. And a day.
Say a day without the ever. No, Orlando, men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon over his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against rain, more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing, and I will do that when you are disposed to be merry. I will laugh like a hyene, and that's when thou art inclined to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
But she is wise.
Or else she could not have the wit to do this. The wiser, the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and it will out at the casement. Shut that, and 'twill out at the keyhole. Stop that, 'twill fly with the smoke out of the chimney.
Oh, for these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock, I will be with thee again.
Aye. Go your ways. Go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. That flattering tongue of yours won me. 'Tis but one cast away. So, come, Dad. 2 o'clock is your hour.
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous. If you break 1 jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind that may be chosen out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore, beware my censure and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. And so, adieu.
Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love prate. We ought to have your doublet and hose plucked over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, cuz, my pretty little cuz, that thou didst know how many fathom deep I am in love. But it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom, like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
No! Let that same wicked bastard of Venus that was begot of thought, conceived of spleen and born in madness, let him be judge how deep I am in love. I'll tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of the sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he come.
And I'll sleep.
Orlando.
I warrant you, with pure love and troubled brain, he hath taken his bow and arrow and gone to sleep.
Ganymede!
Who comes here?
My errand is to you, fair youth, my dear Phoebe. Bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess by the stern brow and waspish action which she did use as she was writing of it, it bears an angry tenor. Pardon me, I'm but as a guiltless messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter and play the swaggerer. Bear this, bear all. She says I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud, and that she could not love me were man as rare as Phoenix. Off my will, her love is not the hare that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, shepherd, well. This is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest I know not the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Oh, come, you are a fool and turned into the extremity of love. This is a man's invention and his hand.
Sure, it is hers.
Why, 'tis a boisterous and a cruel style. A style for challengers. Will you hear the letter?
So please you, for I never heard it yet. Yet heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebe's me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Whilst the eyes of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me. What, meaning me a beast? If the scorn of your bright eyne have power to raise such love in mine, alack in me what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whilst you chid me, I did love, how then might your prayers move? Oh, he that brings this love to thee, little knows this love in me. And by him, steal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Oh, alas, poor shepherd! Do you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. Wilt thou love such a woman? What? To make thee an instrument and play false strains upon thee? Not to be endured! Well, go your way to her, for I see love hath made thee into a tame snake. And say this to her, that if she love me, I charge her to love thee. If not, I will never have her unless thou entreat for her. If you be a true lover, hence and not a word, for here comes more company.
Good morrow, fair ones. Pray you, if you know where in the purlieus of the forest stands a sheepcote fenced about with olive trees?
West of this place, down in the neighbor bottom. But at this hour the house doth keep itself. There's none within.
If that and I may profit by a tongue, then should I know you by description, such garments and such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister.
What?
The woman, low and browner than her brother. Are not you the owner of the house I did inquire for?
It is no boast, being asked to say we are.
Orlando doth commend him to you. Both. And to that youth he calls Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame. If you will know of me what man I am, and how and why and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you, tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within the hour. And pacing through the forest, lo, what befell. He threw his eye aside, and mark what object did present itself. Under an oak, whose boughs were mossed with age, a wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. And nearby, a bush, under which bush's shade, a lioness, with udders all drawn dry, lay crouching, head on ground, with cat-like watch. This seen, Orlando did approach the man, and found it was his brother. his elder brother.
Oh, I have heard him speak of this same brother, and he did render him the most unnatural that ever lived amongst men.
Well, he might so do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there, food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back and purposed so, but kindness, nobler ever than revenge, made him give battle to the lioness, who quickly fell before him, in which, hurtling from miserable slumber, I awake.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that so oft contrived to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin.
By and by. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my brother's love, who led me instantly unto his cave. There stripped himself, and here, upon his arm, the lioness had torn some flesh away, which had bled all this while, and now he fainted and cried in fainting upon Rosalind. Brief. I recovered him, bound up his wound, and after some small space, being strong at heart, he sent me hither, stranger as I am, so that I might tell this story, so that you would excuse his broken promise, and to give this napkin, dyed in his blood, to that shepherd youth that he in sport doth call his Rosalind.
How now, Ganymede? Sweet Ganymede!
Many will swoon when they do look on blood.
There's more to it. Cousin, Ganymede!
Look, he recovers.
I would I were at home.
We'll lead you thither. Pray you, take him by the arm.
Be of good cheer, youth. You a man? You lack a man's heart.
I do so, I confess it. Sarah! Our body would think this was well counterfeited. I pray you, tell your brother how well I counterfeited. Hey-o.
This was no counterfeit. There's too great testimony in your complexion that this was a passion of earnest.
Counterfeit, I assure you.
Oh, take up a good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do. But if faith, I should have been a woman by rights.
You look paler and paler. Pray you, draw homewards. Good sir. Go with us.
That will I. For I must bear answer back how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
I shall devise something, but I pray you, commend my counterfeiting to him. Will you go?
We will find a time, Audrey. Patient, gentle Audrey.
Faith, the priest was good enough for all the old gentlemen saying.
A most wicked Sir Oliver. A most vile Martin. Oh. But, Audrey, there's a youth in the forest here lays claim to you.
I! Oh, I know who it is. Oh, he hath no interest in me in the world. Oh, here comes the man you mean.
It is meat and drink in me to see a cloud. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for. Oh, we shall be flouting. We cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good even, William.
Good evening, you, sir.
Good even, gentle friend. Cover thy head, nay, prithee be covered. How old are you, friend?
5 and 20, sir.
Oh, ripe age. Is thy name William?
William, sir.
Fair name. Was born in the forest here?
I, sir. Thank God.
Oh, thank God. Good answer. Art rich?
Faith, sir. So.
So is good. Very good. Very excellent good, and yet it is not. It is but so. Art thou wise?
I, sir, have a pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do now remember me a saying. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. No? Okay. You do love this maid?
I do, sir.
Oh, give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Oh, then learn this of me. To have is to have. For it's a figure and rhetoric, the drink being poured out of a cup into a glass by filling the one doth empty the other. For all your writers do consent that Ipsy is he. Now you are not Ipsy, for I am he.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which is in the vulgar, leave. The society which in the boorish is company of this female, which in the common is woman. Witches together abandon the society of this female, or clown, thou perishest, or to thy better understanding, diest. Or to wit, I kill thee. Make thee away. Translate thy life into death, thy liberty into bondage. I will deal in poison with thee, or in bastardato, or in steel. I will ban thee with thee in faction. I will overrun thee with policy. I will kill thee 150 ways. Therefore, tremble and depart!
Do, good William.
Our master and mistress seek you. Come. Away! Away!
Trip, Audrey, trip. I attend.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her? That but seeing you should love her, and loving woo, and wooing she should grant, and will you persever to enjoy her?
I neither call into question the giddiness of it, the poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting, but say with me, I love Aliena! Say with her that she loves me. Consent with us both that we may enjoy each other. It should be to your good. For our father's house and all the revenue that was owed to Roland's shall I estate upon you. And here, live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Oh, let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all its contented followers. But go you and prepare Aliena, for look you, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Oh. Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true. For your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked, but they loved. No sooner loved, but they sighed. No sooner sighed, but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees have they made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Clubs cannot part them.
They will be married tomorrow, and I will invite the Duke to the nuptial. But oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. So much the more will I tomorrow be at the height of our heaviness. By how much I shall think my brother happy in having what he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I do speak to some purpose that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3-year-old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is and without any danger.
Oh, speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do. Therefore, put you in your best array, bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall. And to Rosalind, if you will. Oh, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by a faithful shepherd. Look upon him, love him, he worships you.
Good shepherd!
Yeah.
Tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion, and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, all observance, and so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to? Why blame you me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow, meet me all together. I will marry you, if ever I marry woman, and I'll be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if ever I satisfy man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you, if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. So fare you well, I have left you commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Tomorrow is the joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow shall we be married.
Oh, I do desire it with all my heart. And I hope it is no dishonest desire to be a woman of the world. Here comes two of the banished Duke's pages.
Who?
Welcome, honest gentlemen.
By my troth, very well met. Come, sit. And a song.
We are for you. Sit in the middle.
It was a lover and his lass with a hey and a ho and a hey, naughty no, that o'er the green cornfield did pass. In the springtime, being only pretty ring time, with birds to sing, hey ding a ding, sweet lovers love the pretty country folks so lie. In the springtime, the only pretty ringtime, and voices sing, hey, ding-a-ding-a-ding, sweet lovers of the spring.
Truly, young gentlemen, I count this song a waste of time to listen to. God be with you, God mend your voices. Come, Audrey. Come. Don't talk to them.
Petite request!
No.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all this that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not. As those that hope, fear they hope, and know they fear.
I do recall in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time I ever saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter. But, my good lord, this boy is forest-born and hath been tutored in the rudiments of many desperate studies by his uncle, whom he reports to be a great magician, obscured in the circle of this forest.
There sure is another flood toward, and these couples are coming to the ark. Here comes a pair of very strange beasts.
Salutation and greeting to you all.
Good, my lord. Bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman that I have so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod a measure, I have flattered a lady. I have been politic with my friend, smooth with mine enemy. I have undone 3 tailors. I've had 4 quarrels, and like to have fought 1.
And how was that taken up?
Faith, sir, we met and found the quarrel was upon the 7th cause.
How 7th cause? Good, my lord, like this fellow.
I like him very well.
God yield you, sir, I do desire you of the like. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, sir, an ill-favored thing, sir, but mine own.
But for the 7th cause, how find you the quarrel on the 7th cause?
Upon a lie 7 times removed. Bear your body more seeming, Audrey. As thus, sir, I did dislike the cut of a certain courtier's beard. He sent me word, if I said his beard was not cut well, he was in the mind it was. This is called the retort courteous. If again I sent him word, it was not well cut. He sent me word again. He cut it to please himself. This is called the quip modest. If again it was not well cut. He disabled my judgment. This is called the reply churlish. If again it was not well cut. He answered, I spake not true. This is called the reproof valiant. If again it was not well cut. He would say, I lied. Ooh. This is called the countercheck quarrelsome, and so to the lie circumstantial, and the lie direct.
And how oft did you say his beard was not well cut?
I durst go no further than the lie circumstantial, nor he durst not give me the lie direct. So we measured swords and parted.
Is not this a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse. Under the presentation of that, he shoots his wit.
Then is there mirth in heaven, when earthly things made even atone together. Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither, that thou mightst join her hand with his, whose heart within her bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then my love? Adieu.
Peace, ho! I bar confusion. 'Tis I must make conclusion of these most strange events. Here's 8 that must take hands to join in Hymen's bands, if truth holds true contents. You and you, no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman for your lord. You and you are sure together, as the winter to foul weather. When it is great Juno's crown, oh blessed month of board and bed, 'tis Hymen peoples every town. I wedlock and be honored, honor, high honor and renown to Hymen, God of every town.
Oh, my dear niece, welcome thou art to me. Even daughter, welcome in no less degree.
I will not eat my word. Now thou art mine. Thy faith my fancy to thee doth combine.
Let me have audience! Let me have audience for a word. Jack! Orlando! Oh, Jack! Oh, brothers, let me have audience for a word or two. I am the second son of old Sir Roland, that bring tidings to this fair assembly. Hearing how every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, Duke Frederick has dressed a mighty power which wore on foot in his own conduct, purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. And into the skirts of this wild wood he came, where, meeting with an old religious man, after some questioning with him, was converted both from his enterprise and the world, his crown bequeathing to his banished brother, and all the lands restored to them again that were with him exiled. This, to be true, I do engage my life.
Welcome, young man. Thou offerest fairly to thy brother's wedding. Play music, and brides and bridegrooms all, with measures heaped in joy, to the measures full.
Sir! By your patience. If I heard you rightly, the Duke has put on a religious life and thrown into neglect the pompous court.
He hath.
To him will I. Out of these covered sights, there is much matter to be heard and learned. You, to your former honor, I bequeath your honor and your virtue well deserves it. You, to a love that your true faith doth merit. You, to your land and love and great allies. You, to a long and well-deserved bed. And you, to wrangling, for thy loving voyage is but for 2 months victualled. So, to your pleasures, I am for other than for dancing measures.
Stay, Jaques, stay.
To see no pastime I, what you would have, I'll stay to know at your abandoned cave.
Proceed. We will begin these rites. As we do trust, they'll end in true delight.
see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better by the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in then, that am neither a good epilogue, nor cannot insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of this play as please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering none of you hates them, that between you and the women the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breaths that I defied not. And I am sure, as many as have good beards or good faces or sweet breaths, will, for my kind offer, when I make a curtsy, bid me farewell.